because he's, look at Machiwara. When Guruji left, and they use this one, the guerrilla war tactics, even today, that you don't take the same paths that have been recognized or been mapped by the enemy. And Guruji always took new paths. Chamkaur di Gadi. When I asked about the question of the significance, the military point of view, if you go and notice in that town there today, even today it is at the highest point. When you stand up there, you can look all the way around into old Chamkaur Sahib. That was the best vantage view. So they could see the approaching enemy, and Guruji was standing on top of the gadi and shooting with those arrows, one by one. So when Sabja days, when they were, Panj Pyare were with Guruji at that time, and 3 of the Pyaras took Shahidi on the same day too, except for Daya Singh Ji and Bhai Dharm Singh Ji. Who was the last Shaheed of Chamkaur di Gadi? Does anybody know? See how little we know about our history? Bhai Sangat Singh Ji. And who was Bhai Sangat Singh Ji? See, there was only 40 of them. Bhai Sangat Singh Ji was one of the 6 that grew up with Guru Gobind Singh Ji from childhood. He almost looked like a twin of Guru Gobind Singh Ji. Now we remember. A little jogging of the memory. Because he looked like Guru Pasha himself. When the 6 were going out there 5 at a time and taking Shahidi, and 3 of the Pyaras had taken Shahidi. Okay? Then both of the Sahibzadas offered themselves to go out to war. Just think about it. The oldest one is only 18. 16 and 18 years old. And they went out there with a Jatha of 4 to 5 Singhs that were sent with them. And they fought bravely, and they took Shahidi. Yet Bhai Sangat Singh, Bhai Daya Singh, Bhai Dharm Singh, when there was only 5 of those ones left at that last, they actually asked Guruji to leave. And Guruji refused. At that time, we had this concept of Sikhism, Panjabiyari. So they're the ones who actually ordered Guruji to leave. And what happened then? Guruji actually took his Kalgi Who did he give it to? Bhai Sangat Singh Ji. He put it on his dastar. He put his chola on Bhai Sangat Singh Ji. And then he didn't want to leave like a thief. He got on top of the gadi and he announced that he was leaving. And again, our history gets distorted even from this point onwards. The four corners of the gadi and the four Singhs that are leaving with Guru Pasha, the other Singhs that were leaving with Guru Pasha, they also went into different corners. And they actually announced the Guru was leaving. Now it's in the middle of the night. The Mughals had no way of finding out which way the Guru was going. So they decided to attack, and Bhai Sangat Singh was the last Shaheed in Chamkaur di Gadi. And in the middle of the night, when they were all scrambling, they had no idea whether the Sikhs were attacking. They actually started killing each other in the middle of the night. That's why people didn't fight in the middle of the night in those days. So when Guruji left, and those soldiers were able to get inside the gadi, they saw by Sangha Singh lying shaheed, they cut his head off. And they took it to New Delhi, claiming that they had killed Guru Gobind Singh, just because his face resembled. It's when they realized they were embarrassed, that's when they decided to carry on their operations and continue chasing Guru. It's just such a rich history. Savjadas never wavered. They never compromised. Okay? Yet in history, again and again, in other faiths, we read about this one here. I can give you examples out of Islam where either the son or the son-in-law is to be executed, yet the father or the father-in-law cannot look in that direction. Yet Guruji got on top of the gadi and celebrated. And that's the importance of the Khalsa. Just think about those concepts when you actually try to tell your history to others, when you think about it. It was about those principles. It was about the identity. And what are those principles? Those principles are the ones that are written in Gurbani. The principles of human rights, freedom of speech, to do good deeds, not to accept anybody's dictatorship, not to bow to unjust people there. Just think about it. Yet we are unable to make a stand on those principles even today. Corrupt politicians take over. We stand there and we watch. We let them destroy the same land that we call that belongs to the Gurus and Peed and Pagambars. None of the Sikhs were actually, if you read about the kamikaze pilots in the Second World War. Do we know who the kamikaze are? The suicide pilots. They were suicide bombers. In the last stages of the Japanese war, they actually trained individuals just to simply take off in planes. They were not trained to make a landing because their sole purpose was to take their planes and crash into the enemy's ships, aircraft carriers, to destroy them. We treat them as warriors. Now the history is actually uncovering the truth behind them. They were given certain types of drugs that causes hallucinations. And we talked about one of those drugs here too. Where an individual, and the police guys actually had given you that, a demonstration. And that one of the individuals who took the drug, he felt like he could not be destroyed. He stabbed himself 37 times. That presentation was done right here in the class. Or one of the RCMP and the city police officials. That's how they used to feel. But Singhs never used that. Singhs were simply high on the Guru's teachings. Yet in Sikhism today, our young generation is falling prey to all the drugs and all the intoxicants. Is that Sikhism? No, it isn't. So never forget the Sikh history, because this is only a very small chapter of the Sikhism sort of blood-soaked history chapters. Just think about it. The countless number of Sikhs that actually took Shahidi. And what is a Shahidi? We talked about this one before. What does the word Shaheed means? Where does that come from? Shaheed comes from the word Shahadat. And even if you go to the Indian courts today, when a witness is asked to come in and give their account of the events in the court. It's a witness. We always use the word, even in Indian courts, shahadat bhogtani. When you're a witness to an event, in English we use the word martyr. I believe it comes from the Latin term martyrios. That in turn, again, means a witness. So when you take a stand, you become a witness to an event in history, that is shahidi. You stood up for those principles. That's what makes you a martyr. That's what makes you a shaheed. Just going back to the origin of certain words, you can figure out. Like Sahibzade, shaheed, Shabd Langar. We don't understand what that word means. Langar used to be an anchor for the ships.